In the vast expanse of the galaxy, countless civilizations thrived, each with their own unique cultures, technologies, and languages. Among them was the esteemed Pan-Galactic University, a beacon of knowledge and learning for species from every corner of the universe. Professor Xander Vortex, a renowned linguist and scholar, had dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of ancient tongues. For decades, he had studied the intricate scripts and symbols left behind by long-forgotten races, hoping to shed light on their histories and unlock the secrets they held. As he prepared for another semester at the university, Professor Vortex couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. He had recently stumbled upon a series of ancient tablets covered in a language that had baffled even the most brilliant minds in the field. The strange symbols and glyphs seemed to defy all known linguistic patterns, and despite his best efforts, the professor had been unable to decipher their meaning. Little did he know that his world was about to be turned upside down by the arrival of a new group of students, a delegation from Earth, the home planet of the enigmatic human race. The humans had only recently made contact with the galactic community, and their presence at the university was met with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Many of the alien students and faculty members had heard rumors about the humans' strange customs and unpredictable nature, and some even feared that their presence would disrupt the delicate balance of academic life. Professor Vortex, however, saw the humans as a unique opportunity. He had always been fascinated by their culture and history, and he hoped that by working closely with them, he might gain new insights into the mysteries of language and communication. As the semester began, Professor Vortex wasted no time in introducing his new students to the ancient tablets he had been studying. To his surprise, the humans seemed to recognize the symbols almost immediately. "Professor," one of the human students, a young man named Jack, said excitedly, "I think I know what this is. It looks like an ancient form of our own language, one that was used by our ancestors thousands of years ago." Professor Vortex was stunned. Could it be possible that the humans, a species that had only recently emerged onto the galactic stage, held the key to unlocking the secrets of this ancient tongue? Professor Vortex couldn't believe his luck. He had spent years, decades even, trying to decipher the ancient tablets, poring over every symbol and glyph, searching for patterns and meanings in the seemingly random scribbles. But now, with the arrival of these human students, everything had changed. Jack, the excitable young man who had first recognized the symbols, quickly became Professor Vortex's star pupil. He had a natural talent for languages, and his knowledge of ancient Earth dialects proved invaluable in deciphering the tablets. But it wasn't just Jack who was making progress. The other human students, each with their own unique skills and perspectives, were contributing to the project in ways that Professor Vortex had never thought possible. There was Sarah, the quiet but brilliant young woman who had a knack for spotting patterns and connections that others miss. And then there was Mike, the brash and confident student who wasn't afraid to take risks and think outside the box. Over the next few weeks, Professor Vortex and his human students worked tirelessly to decipher the tablets. They began by comparing the symbols to known ancient Earth languages, searching for patterns and similarities. The students brought their own unique perspectives to the table, drawing on their knowledge of history, anthropology, and linguistics. As they delved deeper into the language, they encountered numerous challenges and roadblocks. The syntax and grammar were unlike anything they had ever seen before, and the meanings of many symbols remained elusive. But the team refused to give up, spending long hours in the lab, poring over the tablets and cross-referencing their findings with other ancient texts. Slowly but surely, the pieces began to fall into place. As they delved deeper into the language, they began to uncover its secrets. The symbols and glyphs were not just a means of communication, but a powerful tool for shaping reality itself. With the right combination of symbols, one could manipulate matter and energy, create and destroy, and even bend the fabric of space and time. The implications were staggering. With this knowledge, the possibilities for scientific and technological advancement were endless. They could create new sources of energy, develop advanced medical treatments, and even unlock the secrets of the universe itself. But as they continued their work, They began to realize that they were not the only ones interested in the ancient language. There were others out there, powerful and dangerous individuals and organizations who would stop at nothing to get their hands on this knowledge. Professor Vortex knew that they had to be careful. They couldn't let this information fall into the wrong hands, but at the same time, he knew that they couldn't keep it to themselves. This was a discovery that could change the course of galactic history, and it was their responsibility to share it with the world. As the weeks turned into months, the team made steady progress. They had managed to decipher a significant portion of the tablets, and they were beginning to understand the complex grammar and syntax of the language. Professor Vortex watched with amazement as his students made progress that had eluded him for years. Their fresh perspectives and innovative approaches had unlocked the secrets of the ancient language in ways he had never thought possible. But there were still many challenges ahead. The tablets were old and fragile, and some of the symbols were so faded and worn that they were almost impossible to make out. And then there were the gaps in their knowledge, the missing pieces of the puzzle that they couldn't seem to find. Despite these obstacles, Professor Vortex and his team refused to give up. They worked tirelessly, pushing themselves to their limits, determined to unravel the mysteries of the ancient language. And then one day, they had a breakthrough. They had been struggling with a particularly difficult section of the tablets, a series of symbols that seemed to make no sense no matter how they arranged them. But then, in a flash of insight, Sarah realized that they had been looking at it all wrong. The symbols weren't meant to be read linearly from left to right, but in a complex multi-dimensional pattern that twisted and turned in on itself. It was a code within a code, a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. With this new understanding, the team set to work, rearranging the symbols and glyphs until they began to form coherent sentences and phrases. And as they did, they realized that they had stumbled upon something truly incredible. The tablets were not just a record of an ancient civilization, but a blueprint for a technology that was far beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. It was a device that could harness the power of the stars themselves, a machine that could create and destroy entire worlds with the push of a button. As they continued to decipher the tablets, they began to attract the attention of the wider scientific community. Word of their discovery had spread like wildfire, and soon, researchers and scholars from across the galaxy were flocking to the Pan-Galactic University, eager to learn more about the ancient language and its potential applications. Professor Vortex and his team found themselves at the center of a media frenzy. Their faces plastered across news feeds and holoscreens from one end of the galaxy to the other. They were hailed as heroes, as the saviors of the galaxy, the ones who would lead them into a new era of prosperity and progress. But with this newfound fame came new dangers. There were those who sought to steal the tablets, to use the knowledge for their own nefarious purposes. And then there were the skeptics, the ones who doubted the veracity of their claims and sought to discredit their work. Professor Vortex knew that they had to protect the tablets at all costs, and they had to make sure that the knowledge they contained was used for good, not for evil. They knew that they had a long road ahead of them. They would have to continue their work to decipher the rest of the tablets and unlock the secrets of the ancient language. They would have to find a way to harness its power, to create the technology that could save the galaxy from destruction. But they also knew that they were not alone. They had each other, and they had the support of the entire galactic community behind them. Together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, and they would emerge victorious. As Professor Vortex looked out at his team, at the brilliant young minds that had come together to achieve the impossible, he felt a sense of pride and purpose that he had never known before. They had started this journey as strangers, but now they were a family, bound together by a shared mission and a shared destiny. And as they set to work, ready to take on whatever the future might bring, Professor Vortex knew that they would succeed. They had the knowledge, they had the skills, and most importantly, they had each other. Together, they would change the galaxy, and nothing would stand in their way. The team worked tirelessly over the next few months, pouring all of their energy and expertise into deciphering the rest of the tablets. They barely slept, subsisting on caffeine and adrenaline, as they raced against the clock to unlock the secrets of the ancient language. As they delved deeper into the tablets, they began to uncover more and more about the ancient civilization that had created them. They learned of a great war that had consumed their world, a conflict between those who sought to use the power of the language for good and those who sought to use it for their own selfish ends. They learned of the sacrifices that had been made, the lives that had been lost in the fight to protect the knowledge of the language. And they learned of the great heroes who had risen up to lead the charge, the ones who had given everything to ensure that the language would survive, and that the galaxy would have a chance to fight back against the darkness that threatened to consume it. And as they worked, they began to attract even more attention from the wider galaxy. Representatives from the Galactic Council, the governing body that oversaw the various civilizations of the galaxy, began to take an interest in their work. At first, Professor Vortex was wary of their involvement. He knew that the council had its own agenda, and he worried that they might try to take control of the project for their own ends. But as he got to know the representatives, he began to realize that they were not the enemy. They were allies, people who shared his vision of a galaxy united in the face of a common threat. Together, they began to plan for the future. They knew that they would need to create a new organization, one that could harness the power of the ancient language and use it to defend the galaxy against whatever dangers lay ahead. They called it the Galactic Alliance, a coalition of the galaxy's greatest minds and most powerful civilizations, all working together to ensure the survival and prosperity of all. Professor Vortex knew that it would not be an easy road. There would be challenges and obstacles at every turn, and there would be those who would seek to stop them at any cost. As the years passed, the team's research continued to push the boundaries of what was possible. They developed new technologies and techniques based on the principles of the ancient language, revolutionizing fields from medicine to space travel. The human students who had started as wide-eyed go. Newcomers to the galactic stage quickly rose to become leaders in their fields. They founded their own research institutes and companies, spreading the knowledge of the ancient language far and wide. Professor Vortex watched with pride as his students changed the course of galactic history. He knew that none of it would have been possible without their unique perspectives, their tireless dedication, and their unwavering belief in the power of knowledge. Professor Vortex continued to teach and research at the Pan-Galactic University. He became a beloved figure on campus, known for his wisdom, his kindness, and his unwavering dedication to his students. Looking back on his long and storied career, Professor Vortex knew that his work with the human students would be his greatest legacy. Together, they had unlocked the secrets of the universe and set the stage for a new era of discovery and progress. In the end, Professor Vortex knew that he had been lucky to have been a part of such an incredible journey. He had always believed in the power of knowledge and the importance of understanding the past, but he had never imagined that his work would have such a profound impact on the future. As he sat in his office surrounded by the ancient tablets and artifacts that had started it all, Professor Vortex couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. The galaxy was a vast and mysterious place, full of endless possibilities and untold secrets. And though he knew that he would never be able to unravel all of its mysteries, he was grateful to have played a small part in the incredible story of the universe. The legacy of Professor Vortex and his human students would endure for generations to come. Their work had not only changed the course of galactic history, but had also inspired countless others to follow in their footsteps. They had shown that anything was possible with dedication, hard work, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. And as the galaxy continued to evolve and change, the ancient language remained a constant reminder of the incredible power of knowledge and understanding. It was a testament to the enduring spirit of discovery and innovation that had driven the human race forward for centuries and would continue to do so for generations to come. In the end, Professor Vortex knew that he had been a part of something truly special. He had helped to unlock the secrets of the universe, and in doing so, He had changed the course of history forever. He had always believed in the power of knowledge and the importance of understanding the past, but he had never imagined that his work would have such a profound impact on the future. It was a legacy that would endure long after he was gone, a testament to the incredible power of the human spirit and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. As he looked out at the stars, Professor Vortex couldn't help but feel a sense of hope and optimism for the future. The galaxy was a vast and wondrous place, full of endless opportunities and untold adventures. And though he knew that he would never be able to explore all of its secrets, he was grateful to have played a small part in the incredible story of the universe. With a smile on his face and a twinkle in his eye, Professor Vortex turned back to his work, ready to continue his journey of discovery and exploration. The future was bright, and he knew that the best was yet to come. The galaxy was full of endless possibilities, and his students had only just begun to scratch the surface.